Hi guys, Togray here with a new video, and this is the fourth episode of a WoW PvP guide series for beginners. So this episode will actually teach you, or actually learn you, or actually explain to you how to learn to play your spec or class that you have chosen for PvP. It might be that you never played that spec, you never played that class, you never touched it, you don't even know what something does. If you're completely new, that's fine. If you are not even new, but you are not familiar with the class for specific expansions, patches, season, whatever, this is a video that can actually help you to learn how to play your class, because you can play your class by experience it, so playing a lot of the games, trying to push through and learn by your own experience, but you can also learn from other players that actually already learned the class, already explained how to play the class, and that you have a lot of knowledge at your disposal to actually perform with that class. I'm going to say World of Warcraft is mostly a knowledge game. Of course, micro game, which is basically the mechanics and the gameplay that you're actually doing with, like for example, keybinds, knowing whenever you're going to press an ability, how do you react, the movement that we should have, the positioning. That's all micro gaming. It's pretty much 10 at 20% of the gameplay that you have, but most of things are actually knowledge. You should know what class should do which talents you should pick, PvP talents you should pick, conduits, and also knowing why you are actually picking those talents. Also knowing the rotation, because if you don't know what should be pressed first before you're doing a burst, then basically you are like playing at 50% of your maximum potential, even though you can press it at the right time. If you don't know which spells should be pressed first, that will be already your first mistake, for example, or knowing the DRs. So this video will be an explanation for that, and that's why we are on Murloc. Murloc is a site that is automatically updated for PvP and PvE, and we are going to take an example about elemental shamans, because I want to give you an idea on how to learn to play elemental shaman, but this video can be applied for every spec. So whenever you are going for, let's say, elemental shaman PvP, you want to play RBGs, arenas, PGs, you want to be really good with Elemental Shaman, but you don't know how to play Elemental Shaman. First and foremost, before even starting to play the game, you can actually check on different sites how the Elemental Shamans actually play. And this is also a lot of information that you should maybe have before you even start the game, because that will just win you some time whenever you're going to level, whenever you're going to boost to the Shaman level to level 60, for example, and you're doing PvP, PvE, or whatever. At least you know what you need to do to actually be on an okay level. So you're pressing on Shaman on the left side, you go for Elemental, and then you can put 2v2, 3v3 RBGs, whatever. I'll just always put 3v3 because that's the most relevant bracket, and you know here the top players. So you can actually click on it, for example, and it will bring you to their personal page, which legendary they are playing, the stats. For example, you see a lot of shamans are going for split, mastery, and haste. Me myself, I play full mastery, for example, with a bit of haste, but not much, because I like the feeling of actually proccing those lava bursts, for example. All of these, you also see the legendaries, you see also the trinkets they use, the forset, etc. You have a lot of information, but if you want to have the general information 3v3, you can just scroll down. Instead of top players, you go for the general stats. You see a lot of people are actually going for a lot of mastery, 45% plus the Necrolord shield, because you're all playing Necrolords, which is also written on Murloc. You can see the amount of haste they play, the amount of verse they play in general, the legendaries that they're using in on which spot. For example, bracers are the most used legendary spot for your deeply rooted elements, for example. What does the legendary do? That's written here. Unity, what does the Unity legendary do? It is a Necrolord covenant, basically giving you haste, for example. Here, chest, you also some people put the Unity on the chest because it has a lot of stats, but most will use the ring and even get the Unity on the waist. For example, if you did just a campaign and you don't want to actually grind the revered reputation, which is normal, then you will have it in your belt, for example. You will see the trinkets that are more used. You can also see they also use the Eternal Ages, which is basically a good defense trinket versus casters. You see the most used spots for your tier sets. You have a lot of information, the gems that are used, the back enchantment, chest enchantment, everything is at your disposal in Murloc. Also, how many of the top 50 players use which talents? For example, you see Echo of the Elements is Bis, Echoing Shock, Bis, Earthshield, Bis, Master of the Elements, Nature's Guardian, Primal Elementalist, and a limited power, for example. So you have a lot of information at your disposal to actually know, okay, the vast majority of the top players play those talents, those PvP talents. You don't know really the situation because there is no real explanation, but you see the stats. You see 48 of them play Necrolord and 2 play a Cheese Covenant, which is Kyrian, for example. So you have a lot of information at your disposal, the conduits that are used, the soul binds, everything. And if you are also someone that likes to read the guides, I would suggest to go to Icy Veins because they have a great PvP page for every spec and every class. Of course, it is sometimes not up to date. You see that the last guide that has been written was the 31st of May by Tickle, which is a popular streamer, YouTuber that does Elemental Shaman, and you will see that everything is written down. You will see a lot of text, which is fine. You can have fun by watching it, and that's actually very noticeable that you can learn a lot of things just by reading, by watching videos, and by just informing yourself with knowledge, which is basically super important, you know? So here you can see the changes in patch 9.2, for example, the strength of an elemental shaman, the weaknesses of an elemental shaman, content of the guide, and then you can just click on it and go on those pages. So you can also go on Icy Veins and get yourself some knowledge written wise. But if you don't like to read, you can just go on YouTube. YouTube has infinite possibilities to actually learn classes without even thinking, without even like putting some effort. You just need to watch a video, inform yourself. If you feel like one video is not clear for you, watch a second video from a second YouTuber, a second streamer, and then inform yourself. Like for example, if you type Elemental Shaman 9.2.5 PvP guide, for example, that's often and not people that are going to type if they want to learn a specific spec in a specific moment. I would just put the patch PvP guide and your spec, and often or not you will find your favorite YouTubers, which is Thogray, of course, your favorite YouTuber of the moment. But anyways, you can click on it and you will see some have like chapters, which is super useful. You can watch my Elemental Shaman guide, but you can also watch just the people that are actually also making guides about Elemental Shaman. So you can go on this one, 7 days old. You can watch Alter This, which is a small YouTuber. So just give him also some love. You can click on it and watch the guide. You can also watch Tree Sap Jake, which is also a very popular streamer YouTuber, and he explains also a lot of good things. He's also a very good inspiration for me on how he explains things. So you can also watch him. You can see also some videos with the actual gameplay. Like for example, he's showing gameplay, I feel. You can also watch Venruki, watch him play Elemental Shaman, what he does. You have a lot of knowledge at your disposal. So you really have no excuse on saying that people are like ahead of you because of their amount of playtime on World of Warcraft, because really, like League of Legends, the average level has been upped because there is so much knowledge at your disposal that you actually can work towards without putting gameplay in. But this is really the three important things to actually have to learn to play a spec. You can just read guides. You can also watch the popular spells, talents, or whatever that are taken by the top 50, for example. And you can also watch YouTube and just type what you don't know. Like for example, PvP guide of set spec. 9.2.5 because it's a patch note, but if there is a fourth season, or if it's Dragonflight, you just put Elemental Shaman Dragonflight PvP guide. Although I feel like there will be no PvP guide of Elemental Shaman because it's too soon. But whenever the guide comes up, you can just type this and you will find like shaman guides, and that would be actually very nice. So I'm going now in-game and show you how you can improve in-game. So now I'm logging in on my shaman, and I'm going to explain you how to actually improve gameplay wise. Because again, you can just queue RBGs 3v3 and try to improve your gameplay with that. But the first step is you are going to make your elemental shaman, right? So he's going to be level 1, or he would be boosted and get level 60. I would say that the best way to actually learn your class is by playing your class in PvE, leveling up, doing random BGs at low level, and try to grind it up. Because again, the best way to actually improve is to play versus people that are kinda at your level. The thing is, if you are boosted to level 60 and you have like no gear, it doesn't matter how good you play, you will not win versus people that are actually 80k HP and you have like 40k HP. And that's a big reminder that you will need to actually learn to play the game, because if you have no gear and you have no skill, what is going to help you to actually improve? Not really. And like, especially if you are going to improve in arenas, I'm going to say that getting one-shotted learns you nothing. And the best way to actually improve your knowledge of the class is to be level 1 or whatever level you are on your shaman, if you have a shaman for example, and you go to random BGs and you try to level up and do random BGs at the same time. So for example, you're leveling, questing, and you're hitting spells, you try to have your rotation alright, try to follow the guide about PvP, also taking the talents in PvE that are the same as in PvP. So for example, lightning lasso, you should take echoing shock, you should take all those talents that are actually needed in PvP. Just take it, because that will also learn you to actually have um, some subconscious mechanics that you're not going to think, okay, if I'm pressing T, it will be my feral spirits. So all of these keybinds, you also need to put it as a way that you're going to PvP. If you're going to PvP, you're not going to switch the keybinds or look up on your key, like on your screen, which spell does what. Like for example, if I'm put X, I know it's Earth, Earthbind. If I'm put like V, it's my Earth Shield. If I'm doing 4, it's my Frost Shock. If I'm doing 5, it's Crash Lightning. All of these are super interesting things that actually needs to be learned before you're actually entering the BG. And if you're level 16, you're boosted, it might be harder. But it's not impossible though. So what you're going to do is to go in Stormwind or Ogrimmar, and you're going to find that dummy, and you just you're just pressing spells, so it becomes subconscious, so you actually have some underlying mechanics to your class that you know, okay, if I'm pressing this will happen. If I'm going to do my rotation, this will also happen. The amount of damage that you're doing, of course, it is like 20% less on a player than on a dummy, but basically you just see, okay, my lightning bolt does 10k damage. In your head, you should already halve it you should remove at least 2k damage or 3k damage. Then you already see the amount of damage you're going to do on the player, and then whenever you're versus a player, you will know that whenever you're pressing lightning bolt, it will do 7k damage regardless if they are like damage reduction or not. You will have a specific way to actually do damage, and that's very important, because again, you can do everything in autopilot and just play whatever and play it and try to improve like that. But if you're conscious on how you want to improve on your shaman, on your warlock or whatever, that will help you most likely in the fastest way, because you can just queue RBGs 3v3 and try to do whatever, and eventually it will do good. But if you don't know the rotation, it will be very hard to actually enjoy the game. Like, if you don't know whenever you're pressing the specific keybinds and it does specific things, then really you're going to waste your own time. And that's why I'm also trying to explain that it is very important to actually go on those websites, to go on YouTube, watch guides, because those things are actually super important for players to learn to play the game. You can learn by playing, but if you want to close the gap on players that are very good or average players, you should learn from other people. If you're not learning from other people, you will take more time or the same time that those people have learned by themselves. That's why teachers in school learn you how to math, how to spell, how to calculate everything. Like those things are learned to you because basically they already know how to learn to make you learn something. Of course, you can self-learn a lot of things, but self-learning means also learning from others. It doesn't mean that you need to copy them. You just need to understand why they are doing it, and then you can apply it and even change it and find your own style. But that is how you need to learn to play your spec. Basically, learning from others and learning from yourself, learning from mistakes and going for it. Especially in PvP, you will face versus X-clads, X-duelists, X-rivals. You will get losses. That's the way. You will lose and win and lose and win. And whenever you lose, don't give up, because that's the way you will improve, by losing and understanding, okay, if I'm not walling at that moment, I'm pretty much dead. If I'm not healing whenever my lava burst is, for example, on CD, or you're kicked on lava burst, for example, then you're wasting GCDs because you're doing basically nothing. You need to be always pressing something, even though you are like interrupted or silenced. Then you need to move. If you're completely stunned, then you just trinket, or you wait for the healer to react. That's all those things are very important, and that's why I wanted to make this video. That's why I wanted to make this series, so you understand how you can have a lot of tools at your disposal to improve your own gameplay. So again, thank you for watching this video. I really am grateful for all the views, for all the support, for all the subscribers, for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you learned something from this video. If you're new to World of Warcraft, I'm ready to help you in the comment section below too. A lot of my viewers and subscribers also help a lot of people, so I'm very happy to see that too. And for sure, subscribe to the channel if you like those kinds of content. Follow the playlist, because I will try to do daily videos about this subject, this guide, until I have like discussed about everything. So if you want to learn WoW PvP, you can check those out. Of course, thank you for all the support. Comment below what you think about the video. Like the video if you like the video, and we will see each other very soon. Bye.